Do you believe that there are racial overtones or undertones to what happened here?
Yeah, the best you could make a case there, Geraldo, would be circumstantial. You'd say, look, what you cited there, his attitude towards Strom Thurmond's daughter for simply saying Strom's my dad, or his attitude on the Confederate flag. And then, of course, you know, this last week with everything from people, highly critical people of the president, saying he shouldn't speak to school children, and going even farther back to the notion that somehow he's not born in this country. People just seeming to have a difficult time with this man's legitimacy as president, granting him that authority and treating him with the respect that's due a president. I've never, you know, I've been in this town 30 years. I know you've been around. Never seen anything like that. Hissing, maybe, but never that someone would say, you lied to an American president as he's addressing a joint session of Congress. That's when you start to think, well, what's the problem here? It's not just about the substance. There seems to be some subtext, and that's when you get to race.
I don't know how you avoid the subtext. Well, I mean, I understand how people are so emotional about it. I've been getting beat up for 24 hours, but I still see what I see.
Unlike you, Juan Williams just made the best case you could make for your insane position, and I salute him for that.
So he was skilled but insane.
I think yes, but but I think yes, the substance was a big deal here. This is something Republicans have been fighting the Democrats over on this bill, and on the committee that Joe Wilson is on. The Republicans keep offering an amendment that would exclude illegal aliens from the health care bill, and the Democrats keep voting it down.
Should he apologize on the floor of the House?
No, I didn't think he was required to apologize. It was magnanimous of him, and I'm glad he did, but I didn't think he was required to apologize. And as I've said before, you need total silence in that room.
Should he stop this thing in its tracks, just take to the floor like a man and say, regardless of what my pure intent was, I understand how it could be misconstrued. Let me clear the air right now and apologize because I'm a big man, I'm the better man.
This is always how you liberals lure Republicans into doing stupid things. Be a man. Apologize again. Let us totally subjugate
you. And the answer is?
No, of course not. I mean, you want to talk about something being done on the basis of race. Not only did Governor Blagojevich bring up a fantastic point about how the Senate has been treating Burris, but how about how the House Ethics Committee is treating Charlie Rangel compared to how the Senate is treating an actually corrupt politician, Chris Dodd.
But I think that there is merit to what you say, but it is irrelevant to whether or not Joe Wilson should stop his own roller coaster ride.
Roller coaster ride? You say his opponent has raised a couple 100,000. Joe Wilson has raised $1 million.
They're both over $1 million now.
Yeah, and by the way, Joe Wilson is going to win.
And you will let the subtext be race.
So let Hollywood keep
you will let. Do you want the subtext to be race?
You say it's race, and everyone laughs and says you're crazy. I admit that Juan Williams made some good points, but the problem with them is none of them really add up to much, but it would take more than my 2 minutes to contradict each one.
Okay, Juan, will it have a substantive effect on the health care debate? Hasn't the pride of this man and those who back him, in essence, given ammunition to the Democrats to deflect the most effective criticism about the health care proposals heretofore offered?
Yeah, well, what it's done is it's made it seem as if I think some legitimate criticism of the president's health care plan is really rooted in this kind of extremist anger, anti-Obama, sort of ad hominem, more personal sentiment. And so all of a sudden it's President Obama as the victim and Joe Wilson as the bad guy. And I think that is, in fact, helping to galvanize the Democrats, which is what the president's been about all week. That was the intent of the speech. Joe Wilson was an unwitting assistant in that cause to President Obama. Now, one thing is, he's clearly raising money off of this. I don't know, the opponent didn't have to go out and raise the money. But if Joe Wilson really has a sense of shame about this, I think it should not just be an apology to the president, but to his fellow House members, because that's where he committed the act. In the well of the House is where he should apologize. I think it would be something for him to stand up for. And by the way, I think Ann and I disagree about this, what's in the bill, the substance of it, because if you look at what's in the legislation, it says explicitly not for people who are in the United States illegally. The only argument's about the strength of the enforcement mechanism.
Well, In response to that, it's also illegal for Mexicans to cross the border into Arizona. And yet, if you don't enforce it, it's really pointless. And if there's no way of verifying the residency status of someone applying for health care,
listen to me.
All the amendments.
Joe Wilson, listen to Geraldo. Joe, it's Geraldo. Listen to me. Madam Speaker, on Wednesday night, I made a statement that was taken out of context by blah and blondes. I profoundly apologize that it was misconstrued. I am not that kind of person. I am not that kind of person. Let us go forward and debate the issue. Let's debate the health care debate. Let's not be sidetracked by detractors who blah, blah, blah.
Republicans should do the opposite of whatever you tell them to do. Joe Wilson, Geraldo is not your friend. They had to do was vote for the amendment to verify.
Ann and Juan, you are my friends, regardless of wherever you are from, ideologically speaking. But I appreciate both of you. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
You're welcome.